People think learning faster will finally set them free. More skills, more success, more control. But psychology suggests something stranger. You can train your brain to absorb information at incredible speed and still feel empty, disconnected, and vaguely afraid of slowing down. If you've ever tried to optimize your mind and then secretly wondered why you feel less human in the process, you're not broken. Your brain is just doing exactly what you taught it to do. I remember the phase of my life when I became obsessed with learning 10 times faster. Every moment had to be efficient. Audiobooks on 2x speed, podcasts while walking, flashcards in every spare minute. I treated my brain like a race car that just needed better fuel and tighter steering. And it worked. My memory improved. I could recall studies, quotes, entire frameworks on command. People called me a machine. They meant it as a compliment. I took it as proof that I was winning. But here's the part most people miss. The brain doesn't just learn what you study. It learns the pattern of how you live. There's a simple idea in psychology called neuroplasticity. In plain language, it means your brain rewires itself around whatever you repeat. I wasn't just teaching my brain to learn quickly. I was teaching it that slowness was dangerous, that rest was wasteful, and that my worth lived in how much I could consume and regurgitate. Research on learning shows that our reward system lights up when we get something, when we solve a problem or remember a fact. That little hit of satisfaction is dopamine, telling the brain, do this again. For me, that became a loop. Learn, achieve, feel valuable, repeat. On the outside, it looked like discipline. On the inside, it felt more like a socially acceptable addiction. Think about this for a moment. When every second is turned into input, what happens to the parts of you that need silence to speak? I started noticing small, unsettling things. I couldn't stand waiting in line without my phone. Conversations that wandered or went in circles felt inefficient. I would listen to people talk, and instead of really feeling them, I'd mentally sort their words into concepts I already knew. My brain was faster, but my presence was thinner. There's another finding in learning research that I tried very hard to ignore. Deep, long-term learning often comes from what they call desirable difficulty and rest. Struggling with a concept, sitting with confusion, letting the mind wander. During those slow, aimless moments, a network in the brain switches on. The default mode network, helping us make sense of ourselves, not just the information. I had trained myself to skip that part. I didn't want to feel confused or slow or behind, so I optimized away the very conditions that turn knowledge into wisdom. Underneath the speed was something softer I didn't want to admit: fear. Fear that if I wasn't improving, I'd be left. Fear that if I wasn't impressive, I wouldn't be chosen. Fear that if I stopped, even for a weekend, I'd have to face the question, who am I if I'm not getting better? It's strange how survival instincts can wear the costume of ambition. Sometimes late at night, after another day of high-speed input, I would close my eyes and feel this quiet loneliness. I had collected so many ideas, but my life still felt like a room full of books no one was reading. This is where philosophy meets psychology. Stoic writers remind us that we're all going to die, and that the point isn't to cram in the most data, but to live in alignment with what actually matters. Existentialists go further. They say we're the ones who must decide what matters, and that no amount of information can make that choice for us. Training my brain to learn 10 times faster gave me reach, but not direction. It amplified me, but it didn't tell me who me was. Here's the strange thing. Speed can become a shield. When you're moving,